Hello, champions. We are here for a pre-release and a snapshot all in one today because there was a snapshot last week, but it released on Thursday, and we were not here on Thursday. And so we are going to be covering that today and the new pre-release because there has been a pre-release today. We're going to do the pre-release first because that's what you're cared about. It has released just now today, a few minutes ago, and I will link the changelog to both this and the snapshot down in the description. So let's look at the changes in this pre-release. So yes, guys, I do realize that the snapshot happened before the pre-release, but I'm going to be covering the pre-release first. So if you care about the snapshot, you can go back and watch this. But if you only care about the pre-release, then this is all you need to know. So we have some text as we normally do, and then we have only like 5 changes today. So that is going to be fun to look at. But let's jump right into the first one, which is the number of trees in the mangrove swamp biome. And said number has been apparently changed so that it is less. So apparently now there are a few less trees in this biome. And I am kind of seeing that walking around down here. There's definitely more room for me to walk. I'm not having any areas where like I feel trapped in and I can't really move anymore. So that is definitely a good thing. I'm definitely feeling this. And maybe if there's an area where we can go with boats, we'll also be able to boat easier if we can find one of those. Also, by the way, guys, look at this seed here. I'll give you the seed right here. There's the seed, okay, and this is kind of cool. There's a village over there and a shattered savanna, and then this cool looking mangrove biome over here. My cords are right there, and yeah, so there are definitely, I think, less trees in here because I can fly around down here at the bottom with way more ease, but it's definitely still a very packed biome. There's still a lot going on here, and I really like that. I think this is probably a basically finished feature at this point because I'm very happy with just how it is in general. It feels very crowded still, but it's also not hard to traverse, and I think that's a really good mix. And this is not that big of a biome, but some of them you can see can stretch on for miles. So I really think this biome is basically finished, maybe a couple more tweaks in pre-releases, but other than that, I am very, very happy with how this is. But let's look at the next change, which I actually really like. And that is that now things are going to be a bit harder when you're in the nether because endermen, skeletons, wither skeletons, and piglins will spawn in a wider range of light levels, which means you can't really block them off with light, or you have to be very, very careful to do so, which means the nether is just even more dangerous because that place is already absolutely freaky, and now it's just kind of even worse. So this is definitely a cool change and is going to make a lot of things it's just going to make kind of blocking spawns in the nether with light harder, because this means that mobs will be able to spawn really close to torches and stuff now, because I think torches leave off a light level of 12 maybe, and these can spawn level 11. So basically they can spawn anywhere that's not exactly on the torches. So if you wanted to use torches and not slabs to spawn proof another area, you'd have to use torches on literally every single block. So this is just kind of cool. It just is a slight buff. It's not that big of a buff, but it's a slight buff, and we can always be happy with those. But the next one to look at is item vibrations now are emitted when you start and when you finish using an item. So we're going to look at that, and I'm going to show you what it means. I think the best way to show this off is going to be with a skulk sensor right here. And if we just shoot a bow, you can see it hears when we start the bow, and it hears when we let go. So let's show this off again. It hears when I draw the bow back, and it hears when I shoot the arrow. And that is the same with the crossbows and blocking the shields and stuff like that. But this does not affect when you're sneaking. That is the next change. So when you're sneaking, it doesn't hear either. It heard the sheep just then, not me. You can see again, it doesn't hear anything, except maybe it would hear the arrow landing. Yeah, it would hear the arrow landing if the arrow is not next to it, but if we just shoot far away, it's not going to hear me shooting that while I'm sneaking. So yeah, you can sneak and you can shoot the bow, and the warden or the skulk sensors won't hear you, but stand up. When you stand up, it'll hear both you pulling back and you releasing, which just makes sense. Again, these pre-releases are just kind of tweaking up things that need tweaking, which is definitely good because that's what they're for. And the update is getting closer and closer to being finished, and I would guess the final update is going to release in probably like a month or so. So you can see here what I just said. Item interaction is now ignored when you're sneaking. So again, when you're sneaking, it's just not going to show you. It's not going to show the skulk sensor, I mean, what you're doing. So if you're sneaking and you shoot a bow, the skulk sensor isn't going to hear you. And the last change is going to have to do with putting pumpkins and skulls on your head. Is just going to play a generic equip sound. So let's see if we can hear that. So if I'm over here in survival mode and I have a zombie head and I go and equip it, it just uses a generic equip sound. So let's hear that again. It's not specific to the zombie head. That would be the same sound if I put a pumpkin on or any other head on. But this is now what I look like, and that is the sound. Now let's go and look at some of the technical changes, and then this pre-release is finished. I tell you guys, these things are tiny. So the only technical change that's worth looking at is the template command has been added to the place command. These just have to do with servers and chats, but we are going to look at this, and you can see that if I go to place, there is now featured, jigsaw, structure, and template. So if we place a template, and we could just say city center 1, and it has now spawned in behind us with a structure block right here, and we can see what this is and which downstairs it has. This is the one, I think. Actually, let's see if I can figure out which one this is. Yeah, this is one where you have to stand right here, and it opens up. Which I already broke the blocks, but hey, we don't talk about that. So yeah, you can spawn in all kinds of different structures with this. So I could maybe say, I can maybe place a template part of a bastion up in here, and then just like randomly spawn in a bastion that's like actually cutting through the ancient city. And boom, there's part of a bastion. This is the part with the gold, so that's nice. But yeah, so you can, if you know like what the different things are called in the command, then you could definitely spawn in like your own maybe custom ancient city, like, and lay things out differently and make like it absolutely massive or something. I don't know, guys. You could do some cool stuff with this. Let me get this off my head. You could do some cool stuff with this, but I'm not that big into commands, so I'm not going to do that much cool stuff with it, but it's definitely a good change, and it's necessary to be part of the pre-release. But without further ado, that is it for the pre-release, so if that's all you're here for, go ahead and click off now. But if you're here for the snapshot too, then be here, because we are about to look into that. So, Minecraft Snapshot 22W19A, again, text is all nice and stuff. There's now a chat preview on servers, but I do not have a server, so I unfortunately cannot show you that. And there have been changes to the locate and place commands. We kind of already saw this, but I'm just going to look at it really quick. And then there's also the point of interest tag. So we are not going to pay attention to the chat preview, although this is kind of cool if you want to read over it. There is some interesting stuff going on in here. And all we really care about looking at right now is the commands section, and then this entire video is actually going to be done. Well, and yeah, this is part of the commands. And then there's also bug fixes. I actually forgot to show you the bug fixes in the other snapshot. I mean, in the pre-release. So these are the bug fixes in that one. They're quite cool. There you go. And we are now up in this one, and we are going to look at the commands. So the first one is the sub command to the place command. So yeah, let's look at this. So guys, if you're used to finding a biome by typing into the command /locate biome, the locate biome command has been removed. Oh no, it's actually not been removed. It's just been added locate, and now we can locate a biome, a point of interest, or a structure. So we could locate a structure and find like a mine shaft if we wanted to, or we could go back and locate a biome, and maybe the biome we could locate, I don't know, a biome that has a shipwreck in it, or we could have a beach or a badlands. So what if we found a badlands biome? Is it gonna find it? Come on, there it is. It found one, and now we have been teleported to a badlands biome. And so that's how it works normally, but it has been added to the subcategory of the locate command. So the locate command now has 3 different options. But what is a point of interest, you ask? Well, a point of interest is a block that a mob finds its home at or likes to go to regularly. So for instance, bee home is going to be a block that a bee thinks of as its home or likes to go to. There is not one within reasonable distance here. I find that this distance is very low. It's very, like, you can't find anything if it's very far away, unlike the locate structure and locate biome commands. But the bee nest, so we could find a bee nest, or since there's a village right behind us, what if we located a point of interest for maybe an acquirable job site? Look at that. There's an acquirable job site right here. There's this stone cutter. Apparently no villager has acquired this before, or maybe they have and it's just still acquirable. But either way, that is an acquirable job site. So some villager can acquire that block, and that is why it is that point of interest. They could also acquire this one, to be honest, but I don't know how it works. By the way, let's just see. What is the loot in this chest? Nice, that's some good loot. Just out of interest, I know I'm getting sidetracked. But that is how those commands work, and they have now been recategorized, so now you have to put a space in between your locate and your biome, but otherwise, that's really all the interest there is. But let's move on to the other technical changes in the snapshot. The only other command there is to look at is the place template command, so let's go ahead and look at that. So if we go ahead and place template, we can now go ahead and place whatever we want to down here. So we could make, I don't know, part of an ancient city, and boom, it just got placed right behind us. We could also go and maybe, I don't know, place another template. Again, template is just part of these things, and I think it's kind of random. I'm not sure how these things work and how they're different from the place jigsaw, but maybe they are. I don't know. I'm seriously not sure how these commands work, guys. But if we just maybe scroll down like a Hoglin stables, boom, we just spawned part of a Hoglin stables, and you can see it spawns in with the structure blocks, so the jigsaw blocks. So we have all these jigsaw blocks right here, and they've got all this information. And so maybe this is so that you could like copy it somewhere else or figure out how it works. I don't really know, but this is pretty cool that you could spawn these in. So maybe you could like make your own ancient city, like customize it. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but hey, maybe you would. I don't know. But without further ado, we already looked at all the bug fixes and everything. So that is the end of the snapshot, and I appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. If you did, please tell me you did so in the comment section. I will give your comment a heart and a like. Without any further ado, my name is Bananascraft, and I will see you guys next time.